Episode 3 of Marriage Material, and I am super excited to be talking about the big day, the 12th of August, 2024, the wedding day, and the time has come to talk about the actual day itself.
Yeah.
Is this something that you've thought about throughout your life? Like, you are going to get married for the first time, and was you one of the as you was growing up thinking about what your wedding day would be like?
Yeah, I think. Yes, I was. I think most people do. I've always known I've wanted to get married. My idea of the wedding or our wedding or my wedding at the time has changed throughout the years. At one point, I definitely thought I want the big wedding, the big dress, like princess vibes. But I think as you get older a little bit as well, you change, your thought processes change and things like that. But I've always seen myself getting married, and it means a lot to me. Like, I don't take it lightly. I think that's what I don't take this lightly. I think it is a huge commitment. Like, I know we've said in the past, like, we've got 2 children together. And obviously we've got a huge commitment within that itself. However, there's something about being able to call you my husband that will mean a very, very much to me.
And it will do me too. I mean, it's something, the day itself and you becoming a Blackburn.
Yeah.
And
which I can't wait for. Mummy, how long until you become a Blackburn?
And our family being complete, if you like,
Yeah.
in terms of, there's Kevin Blackburn, there's Harper Blackburn, there's Theo Blackburn, and then there will be Kylie Blackburn. We've had a joke around, we are going to have the same signature.
Yeah, KB.
KB, which is amazing.
I'm going to start a whole process of learning how I'm going to do my signature. See, this is so exciting. Like, I just can't wait.
I can't wait. And that's why in this episode, we are going to talk all about the 12th of August, 2024, and our thoughts on the actual wedding day itself, how we feel like it, our initial thoughts of what we think it's going to be like, or what we'd hope it to be like.
Yeah.
We are right at the start of this. So thank you very much for being here, and thank you so much for everybody that has given us feedback on the first couple of episodes. We really, really appreciate it. And please hit the subscribe button where you're listening and or where you may be watching. So thank you for being here. I've always wanted to get married myself as well. I see myself as I've always wanted to get married once in my life, and I really feel as from a man perspective, as a guy perspective, it's an honor, really. It's like, it feels such an honor I can't wait for the moment that I get to call you my wife and actually have, because I'm not a jewelry person. Like, you know this about me, I've never worn rings, or I've never really been into jewelry apart from like watches. I've gone through in and out of stages of necklaces in my teenage years, but to have that ring on my finger will be a really proud moment in my life that I'll treasure forever. So we're going to be in Ibiza, which is everything what we discussed yesterday, last episode.
I was going to say, have you done one without me?
Which we discussed last episode, and now it comes down to, like, what do we want the day to be like?
I know.
What is it that we're actually trying to do?
There's just so many thoughts and ideas, and this is for like people who know me and you, obviously. I think one of the biggest things for me is I do get overwhelmed quite a lot, in a sense of I'm very easygoing, and I would like to think I'm quite. Some people that might know me might be like, you are not laid back, but like, I'd like to think I'm a little bit laid back, and I don't really let things that are out of my control really stress me out. And I think you're quite the same in that respect. However, planning a wedding is a whole new ball game for me and you, but I feel like we are, like you've said at the very beginning, but because we are getting married next year, we're all like, I'm already thinking, my God, like it's going to be Christmas time soon. And it's I think we've mentioned this in the previous episodes, it's the little details for me which are just consuming my head at the minute, and all the details, and like you said, how we want the day to be. I don't know. Like, I actually don't know right now. We've got ideas, of course, and you have, I've been on Pinterest and TikTok and like looking through all these reels of like, oh, I like that, and I don't quite like that, but I like that part of it. So it's just trying to get us and our vibe into the day whilst also not breaking the bank. Because,
I mean, the thing is, it's such a, there is so much involved, and if you easily get overwhelmed, I mean, there are so many components that you have to think about. So like, you have to think about the venue that's sorted. You then have to think about, obviously, you've got like the style of the venue. You have to think about the lighting of the venue, what you want. You have to think about the decor, what you're after. You have to think about, obviously, we've not even spoken about, you've got to find your dress and what's the outfits that we're going to wear. Then you've got to think about the food. Then you've got to think about the drink. And then you've got to think about the music. And there's so many things that you have to think about. And one of the things that we are right now in the process of, and for those that have ever got advice for us, please, we're always welcome to any advice that you may want to share with us. But one of the things that we are working with right now is we are deciding what wedding planner we're going to be working with, because it is abroad. There are a lot of things to do in preparation for the wedding, and because we're not present there, we're not there. It makes sense for us to actually work with a wedding planner who can really support us, bring everything together, be organized. Because the one thing I would say about me and you too, one of the reasons why I always feel if I feel overwhelmed, it usually means that I am thinking about too many different things, and you've got so many things in your mind. And we've already, I think when we look at our chats together, there is so many ideas that you're always finding. There's so many little things that you've mentioned. We should do this. We should do this. We should do this. We've got a bucket of 100 different things that we should be doing. And then if that's not captured in some form of organizational way, of course it's going to be overwhelming. So that's what we're just working our way through right now. But for me, I've always, my tastes have changed as well. I feel like I want this wedding to be a very relaxing wedding, where the wedding planner and everything will help, because they'll help us and make sure everything's going how it should be, and where me and you can ultimately enjoy. One of the things that I have always thought about was, number one, we want it to be an intimate wedding, a smaller wedding. We love our family, friends, we love everybody, but we never wanted to have 200 people there. We don't want many, many people there, because I've always, as a general, we want it to be a nice, relaxing wedding. I want to spend as much time with you as possible. And one of the things, one of the great things about experiencing 16, 17 years of being together, we've been to a lot of weddings. We've experienced a lot of weddings from friends and families, and we've learned so much. There's been amazing weddings we've been to. There's been some great weddings and great experiences and great celebrations, but it does allow us to kind of see what we're after, maybe what we're not after, and try to take the things that we've wanted and bring it into our own. And one of the things is most definitely being able to sit together throughout the day, enjoy the moments together, and go around together. Yeah,
because all you ever hear is the day goes so fast. In a flash, it'll be gone, and that's on my mind a lot as well. Thinking, it's all good and well having, you know, because yes, we want it laid back, and you know how we are really, like when we've done barbecues and we have friends and family gatherings. But you also want them elements of surprises, and you want a wow. I mean, I certainly would like a bit of a low-key wow factor type of style. But then to counteract that comment, I suppose it's like the day goes so quickly, and you can be, I don't know, you can get run away with an idea of what you think you should be having, whereas, you know, realistically, the day is about me and you getting married, like after these 16 years it is.
It will be 17 next year. It'll be 17 when we are married. Because we're 17 in October, and then when we actually get married, we've been together 17 years.
Yeah, I was like, it's 17 years next month.
Yeah, so August next year, it'll be 17 years that we would have been together.
Correct. I knew that. Anyway, what was I saying?
We want it to be a relaxing day. We're going to have our, children there. We're thinking about, how we can have, the children in our lives, whether that's our children or nieces and nephews, how they can enjoy the days. We're thinking about like the music that we will be playing. We were thinking about, because we've spoken to a couple of wedding planners, and we're really starting to get our thought process is like into some type of idea. And in terms of the traditional or religious, there's different forms of, depends on how religious you want to go. You can have a very religious ceremony, and we're not going to go towards overly like religious. We are. I feel like I do have faiths that I think about, but I'm not. I wouldn't say I'm not a truly like a religious person. So, we want it to be a great wedding where I want to have like things, which is like, for example, when I'm waiting for you at the altar, I'm gonna have my own. I'm gonna have like a bit my sort of playlist of my favorite music, and I imagine I'm thinking about like you. Obviously, we wouldn't have seen each other that day, and I imagine you before you're getting there, and I'm like nervous, sweating, and everything, waiting for you. I thought to myself, how great would it be to play my favorite songs and like. Just be in that, like, this is it, Kev. This is it. And I can't wait for your entrance. I honestly can't.
I just keep thinking to myself, so my brother and sister-in-law, they got married, and I was a bridesmaid, and I absolutely loved it, but I cannot tell you the nerves that I felt. I mean, Nikki was looking back like, Kylie, I'm getting married, not you. But I don't know what it is, so I hope I don't feel that. I know I'm going to be nervous, of course, and it's strange at times because it's just your family and friends, and it's like, why are you so nervous? But I think it's because I don't know why it is. Like the thought of, I think it's all eyes on you, which I do love at times, but it's the walking down, and I think seeing you, because like you say, we won't have seen each other that day, and the especially the night, which again is like you're just excited to see each other. So I hope I feel more of the excitement than nervous, because I think I know with me, when I'm nervous, I will kind of block everything out, so I want to just make sure that I fully take it in. I can always remember the I don't know what you call it, the guy who was telling us like timing wise for Nikki and Gareth's wedding. Like obviously Gareth and you guys were already all in the church, and then we were outside, and he was like, right, first bridesmaid, so you're all kind of lined up, and it's like really like to the point, which is great, and I love that. But it's the adrenaline that starts kicking in when you're like, oh my god, okay, go. But then I can always remember him saying, walk slowly, like to all bridesmaids, because he said like,
when you're nervous, you maybe rush.
Yeah, but he was also saying like, if you all speed walk down the aisle, he says the bride's then going to have to come. He says, and then do you know what I mean? Things just go really quickly. So he says, take your time. Each bridesmaid, like. I suppose that's why, like, traditionally it was like 1 step, two-step, wasn't it? You know, like you see in the movies and things like that. But
because you want to take that in as well.
Yeah.
You know, you want to.
But it is hard when you're actually then walking down because you know everyone's looking at it and you try and. I mean, I always try not to look at really anyone, but just forward. But no, I think they're what I'm thinking about. Probably like.
But it's going to help because a part of getting married is you're gonna choose, which you're not going to say right now. You're going to choose like a song to come into, which is not going to be like "Here Comes the Bride."
It might be.
It might be.
Here comes the bride.
It might be, but I don't think it. I would be surprised if it was that. But that allows you then to pick a song, and this is why I was saying about it. I can't wait to like listen to my soundtracks because everything that I love, it's going to make me feel more excited and calm instead of like nervous and things. And so the night before because we're going to be talking about like where we're going to be staying and our thought process of the 2 weeks. But like obviously the night before we would have said our goodbyes and I'll see you at the altar.
See you on the other side.
See you on the other side. The day of the actual wedding, I imagine waking up. I imagine having a great breakfast. I imagine having a real chilled morning with my best men, the people around me. I do imagine, and I can share a couple of things, we're going to have all our guests that come out, they're going to have transportation to the venue. My thought process right now is myself and my best men are going to be in some form of convertible. Because I'm hoping it's going to be nice and sunny, so I'm thinking convertible. I keep saying it because I'm manifesting this, right? Yeah. In a convertible, drive into the venue. We get dropped off. We've got friends, family. We're all everyone's got their pre-drinks and waiting and just taking in the atmosphere, taking in the venue. Seeing it for the first time. I
wonder how that will be. I wonder if you'll just like. Have a drink, because all guests are going to be there and family and friends. So it's like, is that what happens? Like, because it's different. Obviously, when you was best man for Gareth, obviously you're in a church, which is different. You're not going to stand there and have a drink, are you?
No, but I think this time it will be. That's
what I'm saying. Yeah.
I think we will be there. There'll be welcome drinks. There will be people speaking to one another. Obviously, friends, family, talking to one another.
It can be good to get that filmed because I want to see that part. Obviously, I'm not going to be there, so that would be that's another thought process to have. To maybe try and film that section, and I'll film mine because you'll never see mine, and I would never see that.
I think we definitely want to film as much as we possibly can for our memories, and then we'll be able to sort of reminisce and talk about it and stuff. And so I imagine turning up and we're all excited, sunglasses on, sun beaming down on us, taking in the venue, probably talking about the venue because people will have seen it for the first time and experienced it. So I can't wait for those moments of like, what's your thoughts? Because everyone's going to be like, they're either going to be like, is this it? Or they're going to be like, oh my God, this is amazing. Yeah. And then it's going to be, right, we're ready for, the main party is going to be coming. So then we'll gather around. And then, I then can't wait from let's say, for example, the meals and stuff. We've spoken about, we're more of a laid back, we want sharing meals or barbecue meals or, we've thought about the drinks that we're going to have and the cocktails that, what we are as a personality. Like,
I think it's just more the flowing of the day. I feel like I love a 3-course meal, don't get me wrong. We did that for our 30th, didn't we? And, we've been to weddings that have the full 3-course meals and it's great. It's not saying that they're not good. I think with the setting that we're going to be in within Ibiza, I feel like it would take a huge portion of the time away where, I think I would much rather have, probably like either a barbecue or definitely sharing styles of food, whatever that may be. Because I think, I don't know, like all of us, our family and friends, we like to have a drink, we like to be social, and I feel like if we just have things where we can just pick up a little snack, not a snack, but do you know what I mean? Like
sharers. It gets people,
because you start with like appetizers and things like that, can't you? So that's what I think.
Yeah, and it gets people, standing up, talking to one another, instead of being like on separate tables and we're waiting for like the waiters or waitresses to come and with like first course and second course and third, whatever the courses would be. As much as I love that type of style,
it may still be that. Like
it might still be that, but
that's all what we're thinking about, isn't it?
Yeah, these are the things that we're kind of thinking about, and then I'm looking forward to. There's a couple of ideas that you've had. And we can definitely talk about this. Is like, for example, the drinks. Like, I have a signature cocktail or my favorite cocktail. You've got your favorite cocktail. So we were thinking how that would work in terms of like making available our favorite cocktails.
Yeah.
So that will be cool. So everybody can have a bit of a cocktail on me or a cocktail on you.
Yeah. I love that idea. I just think it's so us as well. You can get a little sign where it can be like, but we'll call it whatever it would be called, so people can just go up to the bar and be like, "Can I have that, please?"
And I'll just share with you guys some of the things that we've been talking about. And Kylie's she's gonna laugh when I say this, but I was thinking about, oh my god, look at how many things we could do in the wedding. So I was saying like, why don't we have like big drums, like doom doom doom, and then why don't I come in like, why can't I come to the wedding, like the venue on an elephant and like doom doom, and people like blowing fire.
I mean, the fire one's not too bad. The elephant's extreme, and the drums, there's just no need for it. But the elephant one, the fire breathers, I mean, that would be awesome. Not you on an elephant, though. No thanks.
Yeah, that would be
goodness.
That would be funny. But I'm really, really looking forward to the entire day. There is so many different parts from a wedding planner that you've got to think about. Like we said, there's so many elements, from the food to the dresses to the layout and everything. But what I keep coming back to all the time is, I'm so glad that it is the venue that we've decided. We're in Ibiza. The venue itself, even if there was nothing in it, it's an incredible venue. So it's just going to be...
It has to have things. You keep saying this to me and it's worrying me. There will be things in it, Kev.
Of course there are going to be things in it. I expect people to have tables and chairs to sit on. I understand that.
He sent me a picture the other day. I'm not even joking you. It was literally one table, like a lengthy table, and that was basically it, and like a little bit of like fabric on it. And I was just thinking, we've got different ideas here, like massively different.
Listen,
ideas.
we're in Ibiza.
Yes, I know, but still, like, let's not turn this into an argument.
No, certainly not. Yeah, and this is going into an unknown. Like, we've never done this before, so I do think I've got a massive appreciation for those that have, got married and they've gone through this process before. Because I didn't really, maybe it's not, appreciation is not the right word, but I didn't really fully understand on how much there's involved.
I think I did. I think that's why. It's not that we've even put it off. I think that's just why life's life. There's always something that comes up, and it takes a huge portion of your time, energy, strength, like blood, sweat, and tears, basically.
Blood, sweat, and massive action tears.
Yeah, you do literally think about it 24/7 as well. Whether it be, how do you want the morning to be? With all my bridesmaids and like my mum, and you do want. I keep going back to like, it's the little things for me, and it is. And sometimes I have to stop and think to myself, am I actually doing this for me, or am I doing it to try and make everyone be like, oh wow? Which it's like 50-50. You want people to be like, ooh, like when Nikki and Gareth got married, absolutely loved the morning of the wedding. Like, we was all at Nikki's mum's house, and we was sat there, obviously getting hair and makeup done. a beautiful spread got done by her sister and her mum, and it was just so relaxed. There was pictures, like the children were there, and that's how I envision our morning being, where, you know, there'll be a nice like grazing spread out in the morning, you know, bit of champagne, and maybe not champagne, 'cause I'm not actually I'm not a massive fan of champagne, so we'll have to rethink that one.
Bucks fizz.
Yeah, but yeah, that's how I would like to envision the morning. Really relaxed. I'd like to get as many pictures as possible.
Yeah.
Want to do the walk out in my dress and everything, and even that timing wise, will, because we know when we're getting married, we know the time, but then it's how does everything slot into that?
I know. I mean, I know what you mean. There's, you know, there's going to be times, there is going to be future episodes where we talk about, obviously, the important people in that's going to be invited to.
Hopefully they may be on it.
Yeah,
They
that's
may
what I'm
be on
saying.
the
There's
podcast.
going to be times in the not too distant future where some of our chosen loved ones that are going to be invited to participate on our special day, they might be on the podcast. And you know, I do want, and I'm sure that this is what you were referring to. You're going to want to spend some time with, you know, the close ones in your life, whether that is, you know, spend a personal, intimate moment with your mum, for example. You know, I would love to have the same with my best men, for example, and just have that moment just to, because this is what I absolutely loved at Gareth and Nikki's wedding was, what we did as the best men was so great because, you know, we had everybody gone, and we had that final moment of just like have a drink together. Gareth had come out and he had got us a glass and he got us a pair of socks. We all had like our wedding socks on.
Yeah.
So like these are the little things that were brilliant because like it just meant that we all had our own. Nobody could see our socks, but it made you feel like I've got a little part of the wedding.
Yeah.
It makes it special. Really does. And then it's like that kind of like, you know, you've got this. This is it. And you're kind of that supportive person to at the time, obviously Gareth. And so yeah, I'm very looking forward to you know, the special people in our lives and how we're going to ask them, etc., etc., and then having those moments with those individuals, because I think it's really, really they're truly the memories that you think about, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. No, I'm exactly the same. And now it's just a case of just chipping away at things day by day, week by week, and you're slowly going to start to get where we need to be.
This is it. And you know, it's going to be one of the things I wanted just to say as well, though, and you just touched on it, is like you can try to make it feel like overly perfect. And me and you keep kind of talking about this, and there's so many things that we want to do, and there's so many little things that we're thinking about, but I think it's important to always remember that it's going to be amazing no matter what happens or what we might forget. Like, because I'm convinced there's people that have been married and they may have gone after the wedding going like, oh crap, I forgot to do that, or oh crap, that didn't happen exactly as I envisioned it. So I am trying to make a conscious personal effort throughout the entire day just to let it be, as in like, enjoy the moment and not get too overly like, this should be happening at this specific time. You know what I mean?
On the day, that's not a worry of mine on the day. For me, it's the lead up to the day. God, excuse me. It's on the day, I honestly don't think I will even think like that. I won't be thinking, oh, that should have come out at that time and we haven't done this and we haven't got round to that. I just won't. I know within myself, I just will not think like that on the day. I think, like I've just mentioned, it's the lead up time, and you know, the elephant in the room is it's a hell of a lot of money. Like planning a wedding, especially with I would say for me personally, that's the only handicap with getting married abroad, because I do feel like if we were having a UK wedding, you would be able to contribute a lot more. You would be able to buy a lot more things and just, potentially go and decorate the place yourself. Whereas when you're abroad, you obviously can do that, I suppose, but it is harder because you've got to get all the stuff over there in the first place. So I think that's the only thing at the minute. I mean, it's not even a negative. It's exciting to be seeing all these different things. It's just, I think it's just getting it all into place, isn't it? And actually just starting having concrete ideas of what we really want. You know, we've gone around a few different ideas of, the tableware and how we want chairs to look, and what type of, do you want a clay chair, would you rather have a wooden, do you know what I mean? Like, there's a lot of elements to just a chair. Where it's like, I mean, last night I was literally back and forth with Kev, like, do you like that chair or do you like that one better? And then I had one in my mind and he said the opposite, but then I was like, no, you're right, actually. So it's just a lot of back and forthness.
Yeah. This is it, this is it. But I think the wonderful thing is that, like, we've got very similar tastes.
Oh, absolutely.
There's nothing like, Kylie or myself, we're not coming out that's something that is, like, completely the opposite. Like, you're not all of a sudden going, I want a entirely pink wedding,
Hi, Barbie.
Because I'd be like,
hi, Ken.
No. And the same with me. I don't believe that I'm coming out with anything that is radically different to what you kind of expect.
No.
Because we've got our style, we've got what we're wanting to achieve. So I think it's a very exciting time at this moment in time. We're throwing a lot of ideas about. There's a lot of just a big soup of all these things that we're thinking about. It is more difficult because it is abroad, because we want to obviously work with we don't actually have to have a wedding planner, but it obviously make things a lot easier for us, that they can help us out in many ways.
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, my take on that is, I feel like if we didn't have a wedding planner, or if we wasn't to get a wedding planner, you're having to talk to so many different companies.
100%.
And it's with the wedding planner, it'll literally be all under one umbrella, and you just go into that one person. Whereas if it wasn't, you'd have to get the transportation, you'd have to get everything, like literally every single detail of a wedding. It would have to be probably through somebody else in a different company. So I think that's where we're at now, isn't it? We've reached out to a couple of wedding planners that we've seen and that we like and things like that. So it's just looking at the differences between them and things like
we're
that.
looking at obviously the reviews, the historical people that have recommended them, and some of the weddings that they've been involved with before. I do think, because this is the first time us going into it, I do think there's a bit of feedback that I think that we could provide to them. Some of them have not been as clear. We've asked them some questions like, what does this bit mean and what does that bit mean? Because we're first to this. So, like, when they talk about the terminology of, like, what's involved in the logistics of the day, or what's involved in actually the wedding planning, and, like, breaking it all down. So it's been an amazing, so far. It's been a great experience. It's been a great experience, and I'm really looking forward to the day in entirety. To the point where, by the time the day is over and we are sat there in the evening, the sun has begun to set, and we may be having some late night
espresso
martinis, or
that's what I'll be having.
Coffees, or whatever the case might be. Couple of cigars on the go, I think, at that point. I just think it's going to be amazing, but then we're going to obviously wake up that next morning and go, it's like,
I'm going to literally have wedding blues. I've already said it, haven't I? I am going to have wedding blues. I'll be rotten. Don't talk to me now, husband. I'm in my holiday blue mood. We can do a whole new podcast on how
to deal with wedding blues.
Yeah.
And that goes on to very well, to give you guys a bit of a teaser for next week's episode, goes on very well where we are going to be talking about how the wedding fits into what we are calling our wedding adventure. The wedding adventure of a 2-week planned stay that we anticipate on planning out. We're going to have itineraries. We love the itineraries. We love the planning. We love the...
I love that you love that.
I love that. I'm not going to lie. We went to Rome 3-4 years ago.
Yeah.
And I love what we're doing day one and what we're doing day two. What we're doing mapped out. Where we should be.
It has to be like that, though.
100%.
Which I'm not going to lie, another sneak peek, I have sent you a TikTok reel today about creating a website. You know you're doing an itinerary anyway. You can on a website.
So this is some of the things that we're going to talk about next week. So for those, because we haven't even spoken about guests, we haven't even spoken about actually giving invitations out.
The guests don't even know.
I know. This is exciting stuff, right? But obviously, when you start to invite guests, we're going to have friends and families coming from multiple parts in the world, and it's important to relay that information and relay useful information on what's happening on what days, and that is what all next week is going to be about. So very, very
I'm excited.
A teaser for you, because itineraries are important. What are you doing day 2, 4, 6? When is the wedding day in all this? All will be disclosed in next week's episode of Marriage Material.
That's week 4.
Episode 4, yes.
Episode 4, week 4. No, it's been good.
Really enjoyed talking about this. Let us know your thoughts. Let us know your thoughts on so far the podcast. Comment down below if you can. Hit the subscribe button. If you're on any of the podcast platforms, please hit a review as well if you like. That will obviously help us out a little bit. And any final comments or anything?
I will see you next week.
See you next week, guys.
Thanks for watching.
Bye-bye.
Bye.